we should start at least introduction. Okay. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the second session of Smart India Hackathon 2019 edition. So we have with us Dr. Abhay Jere. He is the Chief Innovation Officer at HRD Ministry. And actually there are two important programs which are running under Abhay. One is Utter Innovation Ranking, which is ARIA, and Institutional Innovation Council, which IIC. Actually, Abhay is the main brain behind the Smart India Hackathon, and under his guidance, our team successfully conducting hackathons from last 2 years. So I'm also a part of the team, and this is the third year that we are conducting Smart India Hackathon for all the colleges in engineering, under engineering colleges under AICTE. So Abhay, please welcome on board.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Please
Pratap.
take care.
Namaskar. Good afternoon, my friends. Thanks for joining our second session for Smart India Hackathon 2019. You must be certainly excited like previous, and we hope that as similar to 2017 and 2018 edition, this 2019 edition will be a bumper success. More importantly, we are seeking far more participation from large number of colleges this year. For the first edition, we had 40,000 plus students participating. In second year, we had 1 lakh plus students participating. And now we hope to have 2 lakh students participating in the first round of Smart India Hackathon 2019. As you are aware that in 17, we only went with software edition. Then in 2018, we went with software and hardware edition. But for both the earlier editions, the problem statements came from government organizations. For the first year, they strictly came from central government organizations. For second edition, we also had 17 state governments on board. So 27 central government organizations, 17 state government organizations, that is 44 organizations were part of second edition. And now, apart from central government agencies, we are approaching large number of private organizations for problem statements. I'm extremely happy to announce that we have more than 90 private organizations on board and who are giving problem statements from anywhere between 2 to 5 problem statements. And if you really look at some of the brands or some of the companies participating in Smart India Hackathon 2018, you will be very, very happy. We have big logos like Tata's, Mahindra's, Bajaj, Unilever, TVS, Maruti Suzuki, Indian Oil, Hero, Marico Industries, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Goldman Sachs, and so on and so forth. Fantastic, what we can say, collection of companies who have come forward to engage, interact with you, and test your abilities to innovate. So last week, we have already announced 450 plus problem statements. Last year, we had 400 problem statements. This year we have 450 problem statements. And another most important thing, which I am sure you will be really happy to know, is that every problem statement this year will have prizes. So my team under leadership of Pratap and Mohit from AICTE or MHRD, they have actually looked at all the problem statements submitted by these companies. And they divided these problem statements into 3 categories. One, more of a simpler problem statements to solve. Second, are a bit complex or complicated what they are using the term. And third is highly complex problem statements. And the prize money associated with these 3 categories is different. So for simple problem statements, you have 50,000 rupees prize. For complicated of winning the prizes. More importantly, as private companies are giving problem statements, post hackathon, you will able to work directly with these organizations to deliver the product. So sometime based on our experience for last 2 years, sometime taking projects with government organizations become time consuming and tedious. But now this year, with 90 plus private industries on board, we feel that the opportunity to take these projects forward will be far more. Before getting into other details, I would like Pratap to actually go ahead and explain the registration process.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Abhay. So, for student registration, the team should comprising of 6 students from the same institute. That's the basic criteria. Out of the 6 students, we accept 1 student should be a girl candidate, a female student, and they all can submit as many as ideas which are there under 450 problem statements. So 6 member per team is what the criteria, out of which at least 1 female team member should be there. They all should be from one college. They may not be from same class, but they should come under one college. That's
Or they may not come from same stream also.
Yeah, and not from same stream as well. Just for an example, if you are solving a problem which requires some mechanical assistant or some chemical assistant, you can actually call your friends from other streams and form a team of 6 members and registered. But when we say a 6-member team, that means that team should be there for all other problem statement as well. If you want to solve few more problem statement, the 6-member team should actually carry for all other problem statement as well. The reason behind it, typically when we shortlist the teams, and if you get through the selection criteria, you all required to travel to a specific location where the hackathon will happen. Abhi, you want to add something into it?
Yes, but the first important step which you really need to do, or your college really need to do, is nominate a SPOC, single point of contact. So the first step is SPOC registration. Unless and until SPOC registration happens, none of the teams will be allowed to register. Okay, so college needs to appoint a SPOC, which should be a faculty member. There is a letter for SPOC which is there on our website. You need to download that letter, and college authorities need to provide authority or the authentication of the SPOC and has to submit with us. Once the SPOC is registered, then the teams are allowed to register.
Yes. And
more importantly, we will require only 1 SPOC per college or 1 SPOC per institution.
Yeah, the SPOC should actually approve the teams which are submitting the ideas, so that only SPOC approved team will come for evaluation. That's the important step in this process. So once the SPOC registration get done, we will validate the SPOC, and you can submit the idea which will go to SPOC. The SPOC will approve the ideas. The SPOC essentially has to complete all the authentication of the student. They should identify which students are they from same institute or not, is there any one female candidate in the team or not, and then according to the format specified for submitting the ideas should be validated by the SPOC first, and then he or she has to approve the team, and then it will come to us for evaluation. That's a very important part.
I would like to clarify it further. SPOC registration is the first step. Okay, once the SPOC registration is done, then students will go ahead and register their teams. Okay, once the student registration or the team registration happens, the message will go to SPOC for approval of that team. SPOC is expected to check the credentials of the students, affiliation of the students, and then approve that team. So this is the first level of approval for the student team. After this first level of approval, then only student can actually submit an idea. Okay? Once students submit an idea, it will again go to SPOC for approval, for the second level of approval. Once SPOC does that second level of approval, then only that idea will be visible to us for evaluation. So please understand, it is a 2-level authentication process which Spocks need to perform. The first authentication is the authentication of the team members. The second authentication is the authentication of the idea submitted. Then only the ideas will be visible to us. That's the system we have designed, and then only we will take it for further consideration. So don't complain to us, or then don't try to reach out to us saying that I have submitted idea, but why my idea was not selected. One of the primary reasons could be that your Spock has failed to approve that idea, and hence because of that, that idea were not visible to us.
Very true. Abhay, would you like to mention something about software and hardware edition this time also?
Yes. So similar to last time, we will also have two editions this time, software edition and hardware edition. We have already announced dates for software edition, that is 9th and 10th of March. So please book your calendar for 9th and 10th of March. We will have software edition, or the grand finale of the software edition. The hardware edition we plan to hold similar to last year in second week of June, because it's a 5-day, 6-day edition. So we require more time, as well as because hardware we have to prepare also a lot, we will require some time to get into that process. So the software edition is in March, the hardware edition will be in mid-June or third week of June. We will announce the dates accordingly. More importantly, the last date for submission of ideas for software as well as for hardware edition is before the model code of conduct gets applied, okay, because we have elections in 2019. So don't expect us to extend the deadline, okay, that is extremely critical. Apart from that, last year or for last 2 years, we are facing a problem where the server gets crashed on the last day because thousands of students want to upload their ideas.
True.
You should certainly avoid that. We are also on our side trying to balance the load, and we are trying to improve on our technology part. But to be on a safer side, don't wait till the last day for submission of your ideas. Submit your ideas as early as possible. So start Spock registration as soon as possible. Then start student registration. Spock needs to approve it, and then subsequently you can submit the idea, and again Spock has to approve that idea, and everything needs to be done before 20th of January.
True. So Abhay, actually we had one more edition happened this year, which was the Indo-Singapore Hackathon.
You're right.
Would you please like to add a couple of lines on that?
Fantastic. Thanks, Pratap. So we are trying to give more and more opportunities to winners of Smart India Hackathon. And one of the initiatives where we actually considered winners of Smart India Hackathon was India-Singapore Hackathon, which was proposed by our Prime Minister, Honorable Shri Narendra Modi ji, when he was in Singapore few months back. And we actually had Indo-Singapore joint hackathon last month, where 20 teams from India actually competed against 20 teams from Singapore. And one of the selection criteria for these 20 teams was their performance in Smart India Hackathon. Pratap, I think you and other your team members actually spoke to more than 70 teams who were the winners of Smart India Hackathon, and based on tests, and you actually selected 20 teams, right?
Yes, true.
Which we took them to Singapore and actually gave them an opportunity to participate in Smart India Hackathon, Indo-Singapore Hackathon.
So is there any plan to have such a hackathons this year?
Yes. So Ministry of External Affairs is already working on similar 2-3 concepts. They are thinking about ASEAN, they are thinking about BIMSTEC, They are thinking also about Indo-Canada, Indo-US kind of hackathons. But nothing is concretized yet, and we will come back to you whenever we have some concrete information. So, the most important thing for you now is to go to a website, identify a problem statement, and focus on giving good ideas for the Smart India Hackathon 2019. So, you want to talk anything about training?
Yeah. So
So we will soon announce the dates. Every day we will have an hour and a half kind of, either it will be a Facebook Live or on Swayam platform. We are working on it right now, or through a view session. But we will have trainings of about comprising of 40 to 45 hours, so that you become eligible for 3 credits or a certificate. So we are currently working on that. So sign in large numbers for these training, so that you at least have something to show, even if you are not participating in Smart India Hackathon. More importantly, regarding grand finale, by end of December, we will be actually announcing the centers. Okay? Till last year, we were announcing centers after announcement of our result. But this year, due to time constraints, we are going to announce the list of centers along with the problem statements by end of December itself. We will not wait for results. Okay? So, students who have applied for Smart India Hackathon, we recommend them to go ahead and book tickets accordingly. If you don't get selected, you may have to cancel. I think you may not lose more than 50 rupees or so,
60 rupees,
50 or 60 rupees of the cancellation fee, but it is worth it, because if you try to book tickets after your selection, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get tickets. And like similar to last year, we are not going to give or reimburse air tickets or AC train tickets. The students and the faculty or the mentors are only eligible for sleeper class, that is non-AC class. Okay? If you can use air or you can use AC coaches, but you have to bear the difference. We will only pay or reimburse amounts equivalent to sleeper class. Okay? This is very, very important. Apart from that, as Pratap was saying, you will have 6 members in your team. But similar to previous 2 editions, we recommend you to have 2 mentors. One mentor could be a faculty mentor or from the institute, but we suggest that the other mentor should be from industry. Or we recommend that you approach your alumni or you approach your friends in industry and ask them or request them to join as mentor. So 2 mentors, one mentor could be institute faculty, other mentor could be an expert from industry, so that when you are actually competing during the hackathon, your product or your solution is state of art and you have better chances of winning the awards. So this is also very, very critical. So finally, to conclude, don't forget the deadline for idea submission, which is 20th of January, 20 January 2019. Okay? And you should have 6-member teams. One has to be a girl, 2 mentors. That 6-member team can submit as many ideas as possible, but one person cannot be member of different other teams. So if you are 6, then you have to stick together as a team. One student cannot say that I am a member here and I am a leader in some other team. That is not allowed. but you can submit as many ideas as
So
possible.
Abhay, I think the SPOC's responsibility becomes really critical in this case to validate whether all the students which are coming from that institute belongs to one particular team.
Absolutely. We are going to rely very heavily on Spocks this time. Okay? Spocks are our agents there. They will help us ensure that the teams which are submitted or the teams which are competing from they are doing it very fairly. You know, so you need to ensure that the students who are registering are the students of your institution. Sometimes what happened last year, we saw some alumni were actually registering as the students. And when we identified those cases, it was very difficult for us to go ahead and actually reject those teams. Apart from that, the evaluation criteria and everything will be similar to last year. We will look at novelty of the idea, we will look at feasibility of the idea, and we will look at market potential of that idea. So those criteria are similar to what we did last year. We hope to announce results by 10th of February or around 10th of February, and after that the teams, the selected teams, will get opportunity to interact with experts in the industry who have given those problem statements. Okay. So there will be a couple of sessions where the selected students or the selected teams will directly interact and clarify their doubts. And based on that interaction, you may further retweak or strategize your solution to fit the requirement of those companies or industries who are proposing the problem statement. So I will stop here. I wish you all the great luck.
So Abhay, one question I have
Right.
actually. I mean, it's more of a clarification. Like last year, all the living expenses on the center are borne by the organizing committee.
Right.
So there are few new members which would be interested in knowing about that part as well. So
Yes. So similar to last year, we bear all the travel expenses for the students as well as stay and food and accommodation. Accommodation and food. We take care of that. Okay. AICT spends heavily on Smart India Hackathon. Last year, we paid travel, stay and food for maybe more than 10,000 plus students. We spend some time directly as AICT or through our channel partners or our organizing partners who are actually helping us conduct the grand finale.
Okay. There are two more points which I want to highlight. One is actually along with the problem statement which are given by ministry as well
Right.
as the companies.
Right.
So there might be some solution which students may come up with.
Very good.
So if I wish to submit such ideas, is the platform available for that?
Pratap, extremely important point. And actually, thanks for reminding me on that. So, once you register as student team, you will have two options. One, to submit your idea against the problem statements given by the company or industry. Second, if you have a completely different idea which is not in sync with the problem statements given by the company, you can submit it as a student innovation. So you have two ways of submitting your ideas. One, against the problem statements, or as student innovation which has nothing to do with the problem statement. We had that student innovation corner or student corner even last year also, and majority of the solutions for hardware hackathon actually came from student innovation corner.
All right. There's one more point which I want to mention here. Last year we had an app developed for Smart India Hackathon, right? This year the app is a little more enhanced because we also collected some experiences and some feedback from the last year students as well as the mentors and the SPOC. So this year the app is available. You can go on Google Store, you can download the app and start using that app. There are a lot of notifications and a communication which was happening through email or SMS that might get shifted from the apps notification kind of thing, and everybody has got a smartphone these days.
So SIH apps, what
Yeah.
is it called as?
It's called a SIH app. You can go to Google Play Store, look out for Smart India Hackathon app, which will be available. You can download and install. It's very light in weight, but it actually communicates with the entire organizing committee at the back end. So any grievance, any questions or any queries which you have in your mind, that can also be resolved through the app as well.
Yes, this is extremely, what Pratap has said is extremely important and critical. Eventually, we will stop sending emails and SMSs. It becomes extremely expensive for us, especially if we have to send SMSs. And many times emails end up in junk mail folder, and we end up wasting time. Our communication is not very effective. So last year we actually introduced the concept of this app, and based on the experience of last year, now this year's app is far more mature,
Yes.
right? So you need to go ahead and download that app, SIH app, Smart India. You are calling it a Smart India Hackathon app?
It's a Smart India Hackathon app. Yeah.
Yeah, Smart India Hackathon app. It is, I think it's only available for Androids right now.
Yes.
Not for iOS, but it's there for Android currently. So we will request you to go ahead on Google Store and download that app. And now we can go for Q&As.
Yeah, true.
Yeah? So we will wait for about a couple of minutes so that students can type their questions, and we will again reconnect to answer some of the good questions. Thank you very much.
All right. So Abhay, we already have few questions on board here. I will ask the question. I request you to answer those questions for the students. So do we have any PPT template available for submitting the ideas?
Yes, I should have covered this before. So we have given a prescribed template for submission of ideas. I think it's a 4-slider PPT.
Yes.
And you have to submit it in either PPT or a PDF format, converting that PPT into PDF. We request all the students to stick to that format. Please understand, my dear friends, that even one additional slide by each one of you will create huge headache for us. I will tell you how. Last year, we had submissions from 17,000 teams. Now, if every team just adds additional one slide, it becomes 17,000 slides for us to look at. It's extremely tedious and time consuming. So we request you all to kindly stick to the format which we have given.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. So once I submit the idea, can I edit it further?
Yes. So if it is in draft mode, you can go ahead and edit that idea. Once you have put it in final submission, then you will not able to edit that idea. So we are allowing, I think, the draft mode, right?
Yeah, the draft mode is there.
Draft mode, and during the draft mode you can go ahead and edit ideas. But once the submission is done, and if you want to send another, we will not, or replace that, we are not going to allow.
So
we
that
don't have team to handle that kind of a paraphernalia.
so that means team has to be very sure before submitting the ideas.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that means only PPT and PDF which are converted from PPT would be allowed to submit the ideas.
Is enough.
Is enough to submit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't submit anything else. Don't share your papers. Don't share your thesis. Don't share your project report. We are not even going to look at them. We don't have time. Okay? Just submit in the format which we have given. Current generation is of 140 characters. If you cannot explain in 4 slides, you cannot explain even in 140 slides. Because once you have clarity, you can always explain in minimum words. Okay? So we have thought through while deciding the format, and we will request you all to stick to that format.
Okay.
Next.
So are we providing a financial support for traveling in the finale?
Yes, I have already said that. Please go and watch the earlier part of the video where we will be reimbursing tickets to students by sleeper class in train, or we may consider even Volvos if they are taking bus of shorter duration. But we are not going to reimburse air tickets and AC class for trains.
Yeah. So about the mentors, so each team should have 2 mentors.
Right.
Ideally, you have already requested them to have 1 mentor from industry, 1 from their college staff, right?
Right.
So are there any chances of two mentors can be from college, or 2 mentors can be from industry as well?
Yes. See, students can select their mentors based on their whims and fancies. We don't have problem. If you want both the mentors from industry, that's the best scenario. If you have 2 mentors from academia, okay, we are fine with it because that's your choice. Ideally, we are recommending that you should have 1 academic mentor and 1 industry mentor.
Okay. So is it applicable to the management institutes as well, or it's only going beyond AICTE approved institutes?
So all the technical institutions in India are eligible. Okay? So all IITs, all NITs, all even general BScs where they are doing BSc Computer Sciences, MCA, MSc Computer Sciences, all UGC approved institutions are eligible. So we have already published advertisement. I think it was published on Monday or Tuesday. I think it was published on last Tuesday, and you can go ahead and check that advertisement. Almost all are eligible who can code. Okay.
Okay.
So it's beyond AICTE.
Okay. So Abhay, you mentioned the prizes about the prizes given by the ministry into category of simple, complicated, and complex.
Right.
So what are the criteria or categories that you have for student innovation?
So student innovation, similar to last time, we will have only 3 prizes.
Okay.
Huh? Similar to last time, we will have only 3 prizes. Okay. 50,000, 75,000 and 1 lakh. So per center, we can have 20 teams, 30 teams, 50 teams from student innovation. We can have, like similar to last year, we can have 1 center, and there will be only 3 prizes from government. We may get more prizes from other private organizations, but this year it will be far more lucrative for you to go ahead and attempt problem statements submitted by industries or other government agencies rather than going into student innovation.
Okay, I think that's wonderful.
We are
So I think one team has asked one question. They were not aware of the one female criteria in the team, but they already have registered as a team. Now what shall we do on these kind of cases?
But when we opened the registration and when we had advertised, even if you really look at the advertisement also, it has been clearly mentioned in that. So what we will request you is to send an email to us and we will delete your submission from our side, and then you may go ahead and re-register as a new team.
All right, but this shouldn't be a practice going further because of
Right.
there are few cases which had happened before the Facebook session.
Right.
But this will not be entertained further. The
Absolutely.
team has to be very careful while submitting the idea. Just because of couple of cases happened, I mean, student might be very excited to submit the ideas,
Right.
and they might have done a thorough study with their last year's experience.
Right.
They might have submitted. So I would request you to allow to do some cases, but going further, students should not be I mean, this
We
kind
will
of
not
things.
entertain at all. We don't have time to entertain such cases.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Can one mentor be allowed?
To mentor more than one team.
Ideally, we don't want to allow that. The reason is very, very simple. Because mentor becomes part of the team, and maybe it can happen that one team may end up in one city, other team may end up in another city. So mentor cannot be at two places. So one team will lose that mentor. So we don't encourage mentors, same mentor for multiple teams.
Yeah.
You should completely avoid that. Otherwise, you are at loss in big way.
So Spock can be a mentor or not?
Spock can be a mentor, absolutely,
Okay.
because he is a senior faculty.
Okay.
Okay, he is just our single point of contact for that institution.
Okay.
So Spock can be certainly a mentor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we'll take one more question, if there, or we're all good to go then.
I think we have answered enough.
Okay.
Okay. I think we are getting few more questions.
I think we'll get one more, I guess. Yeah. So the question is, one team can submit multiple ideas for one particular problem statement. Is it allowed or not?
No, absolutely no. Submit only one entry per problem statement. Don't submit 3 entries for one problem statement.
So that means the best solution which they thought should get submitted.
Absolutely.
All
They have to think it,
Okay.
and then only they have to go for submission. Otherwise, we will debar the teams.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think, and I think it is not technically possible also,
Okay.
considering the system.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we will close here. So thanks for joining us, and we hope that you will participate in Smart India Hackathon 2019 in large numbers. Soon we will be also coming to your city to address some of the questions there. I think Pratap is working on that plan,
Yes.
where we will be doing some actual real-time workshops.
Workshops. Yeah.
And if you are in your city, then you are happy to connect with us, talk to us, and we will be more than happy to answer your questions.
Yes. Very true. Abhay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you so much. Have a good day.